Nikki. And we're moving now to our second round of questions. And we have first up MP Chambers for the Conservatives for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you to all the officials who've joined us today. What is the spending growth from this year projected versus the year just before COVID? So that's the 19-20 year versus the 2022-23 projected year. In 2019-20, it was about $386 billion, I believe, $360 billion, and in 2022, about 450, rounding some numbers. That includes the debt management charge. Is that about right?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. That's 25%. So if we want to talk about fiscal responsibility, 25% increase in spending post-pandemic versus pre-pandemic, and that doesn't include, any of the spending that's part of COVID. That's ignoring that. And can we confirm there's no money for pharmacare in this budget, correct?
Correct.
No money for sustained long-term increases to the Canada Health transfer, and no money for other promises that are part of perhaps the agreement with the NDP or other promises that may come up. So the next question, how much more revenues does the government have to spend over the forecast, the next 5 years, that it did not believe it had last year? So how much more revenue does the government have to spend over the next 5 years that it did not project from just 1 year ago?
I certainly follow the line of questioning. I can't offer the kind of
no problem. I've done the math. So if we look at budget 2021, then you compare the revenues from budget 21 projected out through the forecast and the budget revenues from budget 22 out through the forecast. There's $170 billion of extra revenue that the government is going to get over the next 5 years, or projected to get, versus what it thought it was going to get last year. So in fact, the entire fiscal plan of the government is based upon inflation.